Today, we will test the first weapons that appeared in the history of humanity. A very primitive weapon, which in this case is the spear. The first one is this one here. It's a spear with a full wooden shaft and a tip. Here it's metallic. It started to appear later on. It tapers here with 3 edges and a very sharp tip. It's a very primitive spear in a very primitive shape as well. It was the first weapon in history. Precisely because it's something simple and easy, which primitive people used for hunting and for protection. And this first spear here cost me 630 rays. This second spear is a little newer. It has a short shaft and a really big tip. With this sheath too, let's take it off here. This one is already a slightly different spear, kind of like a boar spear. So, it's sharp on this side here and on the other side too, looking like a knife. This can be used both for throwing and for defending yourself. It's also true that the longer the handle, the greater its reach, and the farther away from the enemy you can stay as well. And this second one here cost me 650 rees. Now the third spear we have here is a spear from the brand Cold Steel. Let me take it out here. It's divided into 3 parts. It's a double spear. In other words, we only have this much handle here. And it has this first tip here, which we attach to one of the sides here. And we also have this other tip, which it also has a sheath. Let's open it here and here. It has a point, it's sharp on this side, sharp on this other side here, and it also has a very sharp tip. All spears need to have tips. They are weapons for piercing, thrusting, throwing, and we connect this other tip to the other side of the shaft. It's a double-sided spear here, and this weapon here already cost me 930 rees. Now, let's move on to some much more modern and refined spears. The first one is this M48 Cyclone spear. You'll understand why it's called Cyclone, but let's start here. The handle is finished in polymer. It's much more resistant and reinforced, and the tip, take a look at why it's called Cyclone. Look, it has this tip here. It's curved on 3 sides, and because it's so thick, it doesn't have a very sharp edge. And because the blade is curved like this, it completely tears up the target. When you stab something, the blade kind of twists and rips the inside. It cost me about 1700 rees. And the last spear we have in today's video is this one. It follows the same modern style as the last one. In fact, it's from the same brand. It's also an M48. Its handle is solid, also made of polymer. The handle is a bit longer than the last spear, and its tip is different. It already follows a 1-band style, and it cost me 2000 rees. We have several targets for today: a cardboard box, a watermelon, a test dummy, and a bag of sawdust. Really cool targets for us to start with, so let's go. The first target will be the box, and I'm gonna throw. I've been practicing, I got the hang of it here. Look, it's kind of like this, right? 2, 3, and the way it comes, it locks. And look, I actually got a good score. I hit here in the blue part. How many points is the blue part worth?
I'll give 5.
5 points? That's great, that's great. Now look here, nothing happens to the tip, and the next target now is the watermelon. With the watermelon, I'm going to hit it in a defensive way, let's say, because the spear, since it's really big, it also serves as a defensive weapon to keep the enemy away. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hit the watermelon from a distance, bam. Wow, look. Oh. Whoa, it came out here, and look how cool this is because it has these 3 sides here. Look, the cuts it makes in the watermelon, it's like a shuriken, see? It makes little tracks here, so much so that on this one, when I pushed it in a lot, it cracked on this side, and this side, and it's actually cool for us to notice that. With the other blades, because each tip has a different shape, so probably the cut it makes in the watermelon will also be different. The one who's going to suffer at my hands now is the indestructible dummy over there. Poor guy, he hit the wound directly, right? Look how cool this is, huh? It also made a triangle-shaped hole in the dummy. Yeah, and our friend here definitely wouldn't have survived to tell the story. And to finish the test with this primitive spear, it's time for the bag of scrap metal. It seems pretty simple, but because there's a lot of scrap metal here, this bag is actually heavy. It's going to put up a lot of resistance, so now we're going to put it to the ultimate test. Even if it gets through, the seat will stop it if it goes through the seat. There's a tree trunk, it went through the bag. There's a part here, wow man, look. The back part went through the seat too and almost reached the tree. What's this? Like the spear is really underestimated, right? Because it seems like something really simple and all, but besides the history behind it, it has its own style and way for you to use it. Really cool. I like this first one. Now let's go to the second. This short spear, its shaft is almost the same length as the blade, huh? And it's also much lighter, so we're gonna have to work with it differently. Let's start with the box 1, 2, 3, and... Because it's lighter, it didn't push the box as much, it didn't throw the box far like the other one, but it cut well and almost the entire blade went in, look. And now it's gonna be cool because we'll see the difference in the strike, right? If the other one made a triangular cut, this one has 2 blades. Let's see what happens. Wow, look. Man. Bro, it goes through like paper. Don't look at that. Look here, look. A watermelon is already gone. I got too excited. But I wanted to test it because this spear, besides the tip, also had this cutting edge on the side. So we couldn't miss the chance to make some slices out of the watermelon, right? And this was the result. Now I want to see if anything will be left of the dummy. 1, 2, 3, and... Oh! Wow, man, once again he got hit. Ouch, maybe it pierced him, maybe his lung. Let's see now. Look how deep it went in. The whole blade was wet because of the watermelon, and from here on there's a dry part. So, the spear penetrated about 10 centimeters, 10, 12 centimeters or so. That's quite a gash, huh? Maybe he would have to start breathing with only one lung. I don't know if that's possible, right? Let's see now, there in the bag of sawdust. 1, 2, 3, and man, this stuff looks like paper. The spear goes in all at once. Exactly the same thing happened as the first time. And look, this spear here still has a much shorter handle, right? It went through here, went through the bench. Look, by a millimeter, it didn't hit the tree. Honestly, I thought this bag would put up a lot more resistance, but actually, it's not offering any resistance at all. Now it's time for us to test the double-ended spear. There are 2 tips here so we can pierce our enemies, in this case our targets, right? How many points do you think I'll score, huh?
I'll guess about 20. Come on, 20.
1, 2, 3, and wow. But man, did you see how much more flexible it is? I really noticed that it bends like this. My aim was kind of bad this time. Let's see now with the watermelon. 1, 2, 3, and go. Look, just the juice coming out. Let's check the needle part, man. This isn't even funny. Look, the needle made a little hole in each spot on the watermelon, but the other part, look, it made a tear here. These spears are still used today for hunting wild boar, which is the only type of hunting allowed here in Brazil. We don't have a wild boar to test on, but we have our test dummy here. 1, 2, 3, and... We hit it right in the middle, man. Once again, we pierced it all the way through. These layers of plastic protection didn't hold up. Let's just do a quick test with the needle just to see what happens too, right? 1, 2, 3, and... Look at the hole it made, guys. Wow, this thing is really powerful. These spears here are insane. I think it's among the most destructive weapons I've ever tested. And before anyone complains in the comments, I'm not copying Donkey, okay? It was really sunny when we started recording, so I grabbed a big hat. Let's finish with the bag of sawdust. Look, I'm sure it hit the tree this time. It cut here. Wow, man, the bench is done for too. It only stopped at the tree. Look, the tree bark is here, man. This is really aggressive. Man, wow, it won't come off, man, it won't come off. No, I'm just kidding. Another one gets a huge thumbs up. I'm curious. Now, to test the Cyclone spear, I want to see the puncture pattern on the watermelon, but let's take it easy at first, okay? Let's see what kind of initial puncture we get there. Man, what a brutal thing. It went right through the box. When I pulled the spear out, it twisted, so this works like a screw. Look, when we pierce here and pull it out, it also makes a triangular hole here. When we stab it, see, it keeps twisting. Now let's try it on our watermelon. Wow, it even it's weird how when it grabs onto something like this, it twists your hand. So look, it can go in and you screw it in. That's pretty much it, see? You make a hole here and keep twisting. If you don't get the chance to screw it in, it still does some damage. Wow, man, I think this one is the strongest so far. Let's see if our crazy dummy here can handle it. Wow, man, look at this. It got stuck right in the middle of the guy's chest. Man, that's insane. Now let's see how it performs in that flower over there. Crazy stuff. It's not really flour, right? Sawdust, 1, 2, 3, and oh, this time it hit the bench on the lower part. I think we have another approved spear. Now let's move to our last one, which is a bit different from those we've tested. It doesn't have a proper tip, but rather a knife. Here is the M48 spear knife. Whoa, hold on. Damn, man, it's a beast, huh? It went all the way in here and really cut. The whole diameter of the knife tip went in here. It really cut here, look. But now it's going to be cool because I want to test actually cutting this watermelon. Let's see what happens. First, a few strikes like this, cutting like this. Look. Wow. Wow. Damn, man, watermelons are flying everywhere. This is really intense. Look at this, man. Ah! Well, I cut it. Help yourselves. This knife on the side here is really sharp. On the dummy here, we're going to do something different too. I'm going to try to hit here like this, from top to bottom on his clavicle. Wow, it cut really well, huh? Oh, agora. Now look at the layers here that we cut. Seriously, this thing is brutal. Just the plastic part here is about this much. And the lock is everything. In other words, this is no joke. Every cent invested in this video was worth it. Now I just need to do this one here. Here. Oh. I really like this one. It was the coolest in my opinion. What do you think? Which spear was your favorite from those we tested in the video? Let me know in the comments. And also take a look at Crosster's website. Pick a product there for me to bring here to the channel so we can make new videos. We have the whole website. You just have to choose any product from the website and I'll buy it and come test it here, alright? Man, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your like, it helps me a lot. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Hugs to everyone, thanks, see you, we're together, and bye, and bye.